Hello, Jenny. Great to see you.
Hello.
Happy solstice.
Happy solstice. And we met through a program with Laura Storm called Regenerative Leadership, which is where I found you and the whole regenerative movement. And why we're all here together is because I created something called the Ecosystem Incubator, and Ken was my first member. And I was like, I've got this legend as my first member of the Ecosystem Incubator. This is amazing. And so, yeah.
I mean, it seems like yesterday, but I guess, yeah, we're going into 2025. That was back at the beginning of 2020, wasn't it?
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah, literally, as we went into lockdown, the first lockdown.
Yeah. And it gave me a real focus of this, how we can think of things other than just our sort of blinkered niche, right? Like, because it very much up until that point, it had very been about, okay, what's happening in this zoom in with the fibers. And I still absolutely love that. You've seen the first part of our summit has been completely about the zoom in. And it was about the product, and then maybe how that had cycled back. But then this bigger expanse of how that fit in with a system was really generated for me with you guys. So number one, I want to really acknowledge the work you do, just because it really was an inspiration to me. So thank you so much.
Oh, that's really kind. I think you're equally inspirational. When I think about the last 4 years, you know, how challenging they've been in many different ways, and how much complexity is just increasing every minute, every hour. You know, and here we are still going, still enthusiastic, still keen. Here we are on a Saturday sharing, you know, you're gathering people together to share, which I think is really important, the convening of fields of energy, which is what you've been doing, Rachel.
Yeah.
And Ken.
People might not know who you are, because our niche is very focused in product and fashion, of course, but we zoom out to this systems level. And Ken and I, and we're very geeky about reading lots of books and convening and meeting with new minds and how can we work in these different ways. I'll first ask you, what inspired you? What was your background and your current focus? Where did you start in this space? Because it's a big space to get into.
It is, and I'm also conscious that we're only together like for 40 minutes. So that could take us 40 minutes to answer that question. But if we sort of zoom right out again, and Ken, you alluded to that just now, and if we sort of close our eyes in a way and imagine ourselves standing on the edge of a cliff looking outwards in total darkness, what's in front of us in the darkness is the future. We're standing in the present, and what's behind us is every single moment of past history, all the way back to Big Bang, if you like, which is 14 billion years ago. And because we're talking about the fashion industry, and think about ourselves in that darkness wearing a woolly sweater of some kind, it has endless strands of fiber and thread streaming out in the wind behind us into the past. That is this lifetime that created my journey here, but is also made up of thousands of other threads too. The thread that is called being a woman, with all of the history of the story of separation between the feminine and the masculine, and horrific DNA inheritance of persecution in the Middle Ages that is part of my journey to this place. Being British and being a white woman, with all the heritage of Newtonian fragmentation and physics that brought us colonialism, that gave us permission to be a colonial nation and fragment other nations and export power over, that brought us industrialization and globalization. that's all streaming out behind me as well. But of course, there is also the shorter threads that are this life, that, you know, was spending 20 plus years in brand strategy, a lot of that in the fashion industry, working for challenger brands when they were baby brands like Patagonia, like Timberland, even like Branson's Virgin in the 80s, where I really learned that business could have social and ecological justice as part of its work.